Let me share something with you that could save your life or the life of someone you love. When someone over 60 has a heart attack while they're home alone, their chance of survival drops dramatically. Not because medical help isn't available, but because most people don't know what to do in those terrifying first moments. Nearly half of heart attack deaths occur, occur before the person ever makes it to the hospital. They wait too long to call for help. They lay down hoping it will pass. They don't take the simple actions that could keep blood flowing to their brain and their vital organs until the paramedics arrive. I'm telling you this not to scare you, but to prepare you. Because knowing what to do in those critical minutes is the difference between life and death. Every single day, emergency rooms receive patients who might still be alive if they had done one or two things differently during those first moments of their heart attacks. The crushing chest pain, that sudden breathlessness, the dizziness, the cold sweat. By the time help arrives, sometimes that golden window has already closed. But here's what I want you to know. There are science backed techniques, simple actions that you can perform right now, even if you're completely alone. That can double your odds of survival, I should say, sorry. These aren't gimmicks or internet myths. These are real strategies that cardiologists teach their patients and emergency responders use every single time that they come to your aid. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 life-saving tips that every person over 60 must know to survive a heart attack when nobody else is around. These are the steps that I wish every single person practiced and memorized before they ever needed them. And when you hear number 3, you are going to understand why it's so powerful. Research shows that it can make the difference between permanent heart damage and walking out of the hospital with your life intact. Most people have no idea that this exists, but after today, you will. So make sure you share with somebody else. Before we dive in, though, I have a quick question for you. How old are you? Drop your age in the comment section below. I personally read through every single comment and reply, so please don't hold back. I'm going to turn 65 in a few days. Your engagement in the comment section will help the video reach more people who need to see it. Now, without any further delay, let's start with number 7 on our list. This is the very first step that could decide whether you make it out alive or not. The very first and foremost critical action when you feel the signs of a heart attack is this. Excuse me. Call emergency services immediately. Do not wait. Do not second guess yourself. Do not tell yourself maybe it's just indigestion or I'll see if it passes. Every single minute or second, I should say, you wait, the damage to your heart muscles grows worse. Cardiologists explain it in the simplest terms. Time is muscle. The longer blood flow is blocked to your heart, the more heart cells die, and the less chance you have of surviving. Patients who call emergency service within the first 5 to 10 minutes of symptoms have survived, 50% higher of the time compared to those who delay. Yet, tragically, many seniors downplay their symptoms. Studies show that nearly 1/3 of people over 60 wait more than 2 hours before seeking help. Why? Because they don't want to bother anybody. Because they think that they can tough it out. Because they convince themselves it's probably nothing. That hesitation can be fatal. Fatal. Now let me paint you a picture. A 69-year-old grandmother felt a strange pressure in her chest one evening. She told herself that it was probably gas. So she drank some water and lay down to rest. She waited and waited. Hours passed, hoping the feeling would fade. By the time her son found her and called 911, the damage to her heart was irreversible. Doctors told the family that if she had called emergency service right away, she might have survived with minimal heart damage. That story repeats itself thousands of times every single year, even though it's preventable. So, if you're over 60 like I am and you ever feel crushing chest pressure, sudden shortness of breath, unexplained nausea, pain radiating to your arm or jaw, or that eerie cold sweat, act as if it is a heart attack until proven otherwise. Pick up the phone and dial emergency services without hesitation, or if you can, get to the hospital right away. Even if it turns out to be indigestion or anxiety, you've lost nothing. But if it is a heart attack, you've just taken the single most important step to save your life. Recognizing the urgency and making that call is the first act of survival. But while you're waiting for paramedics to arrive, what you do next can keep your blood moving and buy you even more precious minutes. That leads us to tip number 6, because remember, we're going down. A technique proven to keep oxygen flowing when every second counts. Once you've called emergency services, the next move can be the difference between life and death. Chew an aspirin. That's what you're going to do next. So do not swallow it, chew it instead. And let me tell you why this matters so much. Aspirin isn't just a pain reliever, it's one of the most powerful clot fighting drugs you can get without a prescription. Make sure you always have this in your medicine cabinet at home, or maybe even on you while you're traveling. Heart attacks happen when a blood clot blocks blood flow to the heart muscle. Aspirin works by thinning the blood and stopping that clot from growing larger, which keeps some blood flow moving until help arrives. But remember to chew it, not swallow it, with water. The science is crystal clear on this. Studies found that taking aspirin during a heart attack reduced the risk of death by 23%. But here's the critical part. Speed matters. The faster aspirin gets into your bloodstream, the faster it starts to work. Swallowing an aspirin whole can take 10 to 12 minutes to break down in your stomach. Chewing it instead breaks it apart instantly, allowing the active ingredient to absorb through your mouth and stomach lining within just a few minutes. In a situation where every second counts, those extra minutes can save heart muscle and save your life. Let me tell you about a retired mechanic, 66 years old, who was alone in his living room when he felt that crushing pressure in his chest. He remembered his doctor's advice, reached for the aspirin in his medicine cabinet, and chewed it while calling 911. Paramedics later told him that simple action kept his blood flowing just enough to prevent major heart damage. He walked out of that hospital 2 weeks later, alive and still independent. But here's where many seniors go wrong. They either don't keep the aspirin in the house or they hesitate because they're not sure if it's safe. If you have an allergy to aspirin, a bleeding disorder, or if your doctor has specifically told you not to take it, then skip this step. For everyone else, though, keeping a bottle of uncoated aspirin in an easy to reach place is one of the smartest emergency precautions that you can take. Doctors usually recommend one full size 325 milligram tablet, chewed at the first sign of a heart attack. Think of it this way: chewing that one pill is like sending in a rescue team to slow down the disaster until the reinforcements arrive. It doesn't cure the heart attack, but it can stop the damage from spiraling out of control. Acting fast with aspirin keeps the odds in your favor. But surviving a heart attack alone isn't only about what you take, it's also about how you position your body in those terrifying minutes. And that's where tip number 5 becomes crucial. When a heart attack strikes, every movement you make affects how much strain your heart must endure. One of the simplest yet most overlooked survival actions is to loosen tight clothing and sit upright. Seniors often underestimate how quickly restricted circulation and poor posture can make a bad situation worse. Tight belts, waistbands, or collars compress blood vessels, and make it harder for your body to circulate oxygen-rich blood when it needs it the most. Sitting upright will release pressure on your diaphragm and lungs, making breathing easier and reducing the workload on your already struggling heart. This isn't just common sense, it's backed by physiology. During a heart attack, your heart is desperate to pump oxygen through narrowed or blocked arteries. Lying down flat forces your heart to work harder, especially in seniors with weaker lungs or pre existing conditions like COPD. By sitting upright, preferably at a slight angle, with your back supported, you improve airflow into the lungs, lower pressure inside the chest, and allow blood to flow more effectively. In other words, the way you position yourself can literally mean the difference between gasping for air and staying calm enough to survive until the help arrives. I've heard stories of seniors who felt chest pressure, loosened their clothing, sat up, and waited for the ambulance to arrive instead of lying down. That decision prevented them from fainting and collapsing before paramedics could give them oxygen. That tiny adjustment kept their heart from working under even more strain. It's a step so simple that many seniors overlook it, or maybe they don't know, but it does matter. If you feel those telltale signs, pressure, shortness of breath, or cold sweat, sit upright. Relax your shoulders, breathe, and free your chest and waist from any restrictions. Think of it as giving your heart room to breathe. This adjustment buys you precious stability. But to further improve your odds, you need to keep blood flowing to your brain and heart when circulation is under attack. And that brings us to tip number 4, a powerful physical action seniors can perform in those desperate minutes before medical help arrives. Yes, do you want to know what that is? Stay tuned. I'm not done yet. I hope you're getting value from this video, and if you are, then you would really appreciate a deep dive into different ways to stay healthy naturally before you even get to a heart attack. That's why I created my Healing Blueprint Over 40 ebook using natural remedies. This isn't just a list of herbs, but a step-by-step guide on how to take care of your health with natural remedies, how to combine different herbs to get the very best results, and so much more. You can grab it from the first link in the description below. You'll be glad that you did. Now, let's continue to number 4. It sounds strange, almost too simple. But in the middle of a heart attack, coughing, yes, coughing, can sometimes keep you alive long enough for help to arrive. Doctors call it cough CPR. The principle is straightforward. When you cough deeply and forcefully, your chest muscles contract, your diaphragm compresses, and pressure builds inside your chest. That pressure forces blood out of the heart and into the brain, keeping you conscious when circulation is collapsing. Now, let's be very clear. Cough CPR is not a replacement for medical treatment, and it's not a cure for heart attack, but it can buy you valuable seconds if you feel faint, dizzy, or like you're about to pass out before paramedics arrive. Research shows that this one action can keep you conscious and help maintain your blood pressure temporarily until emergency treatment arrives. In some documented cases, patients were able to remain alert for several minutes simply by coughing every 2 or 3 seconds. The science behind this is simple. Fainting during a heart attack is caused by a sudden drop in blood flow to the brain. By coughing hard, you create artificial heartbeats, almost like squeezing a pump into your chest muscles. It's not perfect, and it won't stop the attack, but it keeps oxygen flowing to the brain long enough for help to take over. If you ever feel your vision narrowing, your head spinning or your body going limp during chest pain, try coughing. Take a deep breath and then cough hard and strong as if you're trying to clear your lungs. Repeat every 2 to 3 seconds until the dizziness passes or paramedics get to you. Think of it as manually keeping your heart in motion when it's struggling. This unusual but powerful technique has saved lives over many years. But once you've stabilized yourself, you also need to make sure help can reach you quickly when they get there. That's where tip number 3 comes in. Another simple but life saving habit that every senior should master. When a heart attack strikes, every second is precious. I already said that many times. Not just for your body, though, but for the people trying to save you. One of the most overlooked survival steps is also one of the simplest. Unlock your door. Keep your phone within arm's reach. It sounds like a small thing, but in a crisis like that, it can mean the difference between being found in time or being trapped behind a locked door while precious minutes slip away. Here's why this matters. Paramedics are trained to break down doors if they have to, but every extra barrier costs them time. And during a heart attack, time is muscle. Studies show that for every 10 minutes of delay in treatment, survival rates drop by nearly 10%. Imagine losing those life-saving minutes just because help couldn't get to you quickly. Unlocking your door in advance removes that risk entirely. The second half of this tip is just as critical. Always keep your phone nearby, especially if you live alone. Too many seniors leave their phone in another room or plugged into a charger out of reach. During a heart attack, even walking a few steps can cause you to collapse. Having your phone next to you at all times ensures that you can stay connected with emergency responders until the help arrives. Some experts even recommend putting your phone on speaker so you can follow instructions without having to hold it to your ear. Think of it this way. Your phone is your lifeline, and your unlocked door is the bridge that gets help to you faster. Together, they eliminate barriers and buy you back time that you cannot afford to lose. Once the path for help is clear, the next step is about keeping your body calm enough to survive until that help arrives. And that's where tip number 2 makes all the difference. In the middle of a heart attack, panic is your worst enemy. When fear takes over, your body shifts into fight or flight mode, releasing a flood of stress hormones like adrenaline. This raises your heart rate, spikes your blood pressure, and makes your struggling heart work even harder. That's why one of the simplest survival actions you can take is also one of the most powerful. Take slow, deep breaths. Breathing deeply does 2 critical things. First, it increases the amount of oxygen reaching your blood and brain, which are desperate for fuel when circulation is limited. Second, it signals your nervous system to calm down, lowering the surge of stress hormones that put extra strain on the heart. Research shows that slow, controlled breathing reduces heart rate and improves oxygen delivery, even in patients with advanced cardiovascular diseases. It's not a cure, but it gives your body a fighting chance while you wait for help. Steady breathing also helps reduce the workload on the heart and keeps oxygen moving to the brain long enough for treatment to begin. Here's how to do it if you ever find yourself alone and in danger. Place one hand on your stomach, not your chest. Inhale deeply through your nose, feeling your belly rise. Then exhale gently through pursed lips as if you're blowing through a straw. Aim for about 6 to 8 breaths per minute, slow, controlled, and deliberate. This kind of diaphragmatic breathing not only helps the heart, but it also keeps your mind focused when panic wants to take over. Think of each deep breath as buying yourself more time. Time for oxygen to reach your brain, time for your heart to ease its workload, and time for paramedics to get you help. And if there's one more habit that ties all of these survival tips together, it's the last and most critical one. The action that number one, the action at number one that research shows can double your odds of survival. When a heart attack strikes, your first instinct might be to move, to pace, or even to try and walk it off. But that instinct can be deadly. The number one survival rule is this: stay as calm and still as possible. Every step, every sudden movement forces your weakened heart to pump harder. And during a heart attack, your heart is already fighting for its life. By keeping your body still and calm, you reduce the strain, conserve oxygen, and give yourself the best chance of survival until that help comes. Science explains it clearly. During a heart attack, blood flow through the coronary arteries is blocked or severely reduced. Movement demands more oxygen from the heart muscle. But with its supply cut off, that extra demand only increases damage. Clinical studies also show that minimizing exertion during acute coronary episodes reduced complications and improved outcomes. In plain terms, what that means is that seniors who stayed calm and still had better survival rates than those who moved around in panic. Calmness isn't just physical, it's mental as well. Panicking floods your body with adrenaline, raising blood pressure and worsening the heart attack. By focusing on staying still and practicing slow, deep breaths, you lower that hormonal surge and help keep your body stable. Tell yourself, I've called for help. My only job now is to stay still and breathe. This mindset prevents rash decisions like trying to walk to the door or grab something across the room, actions that can trigger collapse before help arrives. Think of your heart during a heart attack like a fragile engine running on fumes. Every movement revs the engine faster and risks blowing it apart. Stillness, calmness, and conserving every ounce of energy is the key to buying time. This is the final and most powerful habit. Do less, breathe more, and let help reach you. Together, these 7 tips form a survival map for a heart attack. And while you can't predict when a heart attack might strike, knowing exactly how to act can be the difference between tragedy and survival. And there you have it. 7 life-saving tips every senior must know to survive a heart attack while they are alone. From calling emergency service right away to chewing aspirin, loosening tight clothing, coughing when you feel faint, unlocking your door, taking slow breaths, having your phone right beside you, and finally staying completely calm and still. Every action buys you precious minutes, and those minutes can mean the difference between life and death. Remember this: a heart attack doesn't always give you a second chance. But if you act fast, think clearly, and follow these steps I just revealed, you can survive and live to see tomorrow. The science is clear, but it only works if you're ready to act. Now, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? And do you keep aspirin or another emergency plan ready in your home? Drop your answer in the comment section below. I read every single comment and reply to every single one of them because your story matters and your survival tips could help somebody else. And maybe I'll just do a video about it too. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe to the channel for more life-saving advice. Stay safe, stay prepared, and remember, knowledge is power, especially after the age of 60. And please grab my Healing Blueprint ebook for anyone over 40 who wants to lead a healthy lifestyle using natural remedies. Again, you can grab it from the first link in the description below. This will be the best thing you ever did for your health. If you have any questions or want to share your personal experience, don't hesitate to leave that comment below. I'm always listening. Thanks so much for watching, and take care of yourself and your health. Have a great day and Happy New Year.